गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुस्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. For Savarna Dirgha. Shall I tell you those alphabets? You can note down better. Panini has not written those sutras. They are called Shiva Sutras.
Okay.
The alphabets of Sanskrit, they are put slightly in a different order. And there are 14 sutras. We call them Maheshwara Sutra or Shiva Sutra. 14 Shiva Sutra. These 14 Shiva Sutras, the story says that Panini got from Shiva. Panini did not write them. The story, all that detail I won't tell, will tell only when you study Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi. So, there the alphabets, both vowels and consonants are slightly rearranged so that some abbreviations can be derived from them. And these abbreviations indicate certain group of letters. So those group of letters are useful in Sandhi Niyama and all other places, because certain group means certain 3 or 4 or letters together go. Those letters follow certain rules together. Therefore, you club them into one group. Make them small abbreviations like that. So for that, the same alphabets are rearranged. First we say A, I, U. So he made into one sutra. First is I, U. Shall I write here? A, I, U, no. I, U. This is the first sutra called Shiva Sutras. In this A, I, U, only 3 letters are included. Na is something like a full stop or something like an inverted comma. Okay. It should not be included in this vowel. For pronunciation, it is easy for you to show that this sutra ended. It is only an indication of ending of sutra. This is not included in the alphabets. Only A, I, U. A, I, U. Either you may put some kind of a dash or something. This na is only a different. A, I, U. Then roluk. Roluk. This is the second sutra. A, Ong. A, O, Nga. I, Au, Cha. I, ouch. So out of the 14 Shiva Sutra or Maheshwara Sutra, you call them. Out of the 14 Sutra, these are the 4. These 4 sutras cover the vowels. Remaining all cover the consonants. Isn't it? So, he grouped them into 4. First sutra, second, you can just repeat it. I, Una. Roluk. A, Ong. Idu Nga it is. I, ouch. This one. So, why this regrouping? Regrouping means, as I told you, certain letters, for example, these 3. These 3 follow the same rule generally. Therefore, if you put them these 3 together, these 3 generally follow certain similar changes. Okay. That's why they can be put as in one group. Second reason is abbreviations, you can make them. How? Take any letter, any of them, start with any letter, end with this final consonant. For example, A and Na. you make it, what happens? Un. Un is an abbreviation which refers to these three letters. Un. When you say un means aivu, 3. Then ak, a plus ka. Either you call ak or ik. Ak means a to ka. How many letters? 5. 3 plus 2. Ayevu rulu. Na is not counted now. Because Ayevu rulu, for this 5, to represent 5 letters, the abbreviation is ak. Or if you drop the a, Evu, na is anyway does not counted in the alphabets. Evu rulu, for this 4, you put ik. E plus ka. Ik, when you say from E to ka, ka is only a full stop, ending full stop. It doesn't count as a akshara. So Evu rulu. Evu rulu. These 4 letters are represented by ik, shortcut, abbreviation. It is called pratyahara in Panini's language. It is a pratyahara or sanya. So un means ayevu. Ak, these 5 letters. Ik, 4 letters. Then aong. You can make aing. Aing can be made. To make an abbreviation, you need not start with the first letter. You can start with any letter. But ending should be this one of this. You can start with any letter. But ending should be in any of these things. That shows from this letter to this letter. That, for example, a to cha. What do you say? Ach. Ach means all vowels. 4 sutras. Vowels. Therefore, Panini's language, ach means vowels. Yesterday I told you ach and hal. Ach and hal I told you. In Kannada you are not using, but I don't know. But in Telugu, right from childhood, even children, we told vowels are called achulu. We have no other name for vowels. Achulu. Swara they call, but they would say swara is a more technical word, only advanced scholars know it. But we call Telugu means achulu. Vowels means achulu. Hallulu is consonants. So I thought achu is only Telugu name alone. I never knew. Later it is a Panini name. I never knew. Until I learned Panini grammar, I would not know. Achulu we call directly. In Hindi also, vowels are called swar and vyanjan. Swar, vyanjan, even now for me it looks very difficult language, very unfamiliar. Achu, hal is so familiar to me. Ach and hal. So a to cha, ach. Then a plus cha, h. H means only a, o. So no, sorry, I, ich. A plus cha, h. If you say h, this means a, o, I, o. These 4 vowels, when you put together h, to refer to certain group of letters, these small abbreviations are made and used by. To make these abbreviations, these sutras, Shiva Sutras were the basis. But in Shiva Sutras, these alphabets are slightly rearranged, not in our way. Now, who rearranged it? Panini did not know. They say Panini was doing tapas with Nataraja. Adenu? When he was doing tapas, Panini, there is a shloka like this. Nruttavasane Nataraja Rajaha Nanada Dakkam Navapanchavaram. Nruttavasane Nataraja Rajaha. Nataraja dance madi at the end of a particular day. When Panini etc. were doing tapas, and they appeared in front of him, Panini and certain other rishis. So Shiva danced. After dancing, at the end of the dance, he took his damaru and made it sound like this. And from that sound, Panini could get an insight of these sutras. One damaru he told, I wunu. He made a noise like this. I wunu one damaru. A roluk, a och, and a ong, I ouch, like this. In his damaru noise, he read these 14 sutras.
Okay.
So, we don't know how it happened. That's what they say. So, Nruttavasane Nataraja Rajaha Nanada Dhakkam Navapanchavaram Nava Pancha. Nava is 9, Pancha is 5. Put together 14 times. He 14 times he made his noise with Damaru. Dakka. Dakka is his Damaru. Nanada Nruttavasane Nataraja Rajaha. Nanada Dakka Nava Panchavaram. Uddhartu Kaman Sanakadi Shishyan. Uddhartu Kaman Sanakadi Shishyan Etad Vimarshe Shiva Sutra Jalam. Sanaka and other rishis. Allah Panini was also there, he says. In order to, Uddhartu means in order to uplift. Uplift means just help them, bless them. In order to bless them, he made with his Damaru 14 sounds. 14 times he made a noise them. From that 14, the rishis have recognized these 14 sutras. Etad Vimarshe Shiva Sutra Jalam. This I consider as the 14 Shiva Sutras.
Okay.
So in Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi or even Ashtadhyayi, first we study that shloka and these 14 sutras, then we proceed with Paniniya grammar. For before we study Paniniya grammar, this is the thing. When it comes to consonants, he has rearranged the consonants. Regarding the consonants, you see, now the 4 you have noted down, other one you see. Ka, Kha. Since you know them already, I am writing in small letters. Since you can recognize already letters are known to you. And that's why you need not read them because you already know them. Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, Nga. Cha, Cha, Ja, Jha, Nya. Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na. Ta, Tha, Na. Pa, Pha, Ba, Bha, Ma. Next is Ya, Ra, La, Va. Sha, I am writing here. Sha and Sa, and this is Ha. You pronounce these letters, you see them. You pronounce these letters from the Kanthasthana. Kantha. Kanthasthana, guttural they call it. In English, in Latin, he has used on Latin words. Gutturals. Gutter this is. Gutter, G-U-T-T, guttural. Guttural means what is Kanthasthanas, produced the alphabets from the Kantha is called gutturals. Then Talu. Then this is called Talusthana. Because when you pronounce them, your tongue touches that particular parts only, Talu. This is called cerebrum, upper portion. And this is called dental. All these are dentals, Dantya letters. Dantya, this is called Voshta letters, only with lips alone. Therefore, those names. So, Panini, first 4 sutras are over. 5th sutra, what is? Aivundruluk evung, I auch hayavarat lan yamangananam. Ha, I am putting like this. Okay. Ha is pronounced from the Kanthasthana, from this sthana. So, ha, ya, va, ra. I think la we make it like that. Okay. So, these put together, Shiva made 5th sutra.
Okay.
Hayavarat. Hayavara. Last letter is Ta. Shall I write it?
No.
Hayavara Ta. Ta is a consonant ending. Every sutra has a consonant at the end. Just to indicate something like an inverted comma or a full stop. So, okay, Hayavarat. How do you pronounce it? Hayavarat. Next, this is one sutra. This is only Lan, 6th sutra. Okay. All this nasal put together is a 7th sutra. But the order is changed. You see, Nyamangananam. How do you write the 7th sutra? Nya, ma, nga, na, na. Write like this. Nya, ma. First nya, ma, nga. Nga means first. Na, na. Nyamanganana. And the final consonant is ma, makara. Nyamangananam. Nyamangananam. This is the 7th. As I told you here, 1, 2, 3. You'll note 1, 2, 3 sutra sankhya. You write a sutra number and write a sutra later. 5th one, Hayavarat. I think better I should write, because you are not able to get anything. Hayavarat. Va, ra, ta. The 6th sutra is Lan. In this only la. Only la is the letter. Na is only ending. Then next is Nyamangananam. Nyama, nga, na, na. Ma is only a consonant. Okay. 7th sutra means, so Panini goes in this vertical way. So, because the rules, all these nasals follow some common rules. Therefore, if he puts the 7th sutra, then all the rules apply to this one, because all of them are nasals. All the nasals have certain common rules. So, when you use an abbreviation, all the rules can be applied to that one abbreviation. Easy to refer. Therefore, all the Nyamangananam, 7th. Hayavarat. Hayavara. He changed the order. Hayavara. After va, after va, ra comes. Hayavarat. Lan is a one separate sutra. 7th sutra is over. Now the 8th sutra. Hayavarat lan Nyamangananam jabhai. Apha babha jabhai. See this ja and bha. These two. Generally, if I had a space, I would have written slightly differently. These three slightly here, these two I would have put separately. Anyway, 8th sutra is Jabhai. Jabhai. Remaining is, remaining 3 is the 9th sutra. Gha, dha, dha. See, note. 9th sutra. Ghada, dhash. 9th sutra is, see, gha, dha, you'll not see it. Gha, dha, dha. Means out of these 5, 2 go into 8th sutra, remaining 3 go into 9th sutra. So, jabhai, ghada, dhash. So, 8th and 9th, this one. Remaining, all this forms into one sutra. Jabagada dash. Jabagada dash. There is no space. Board is too small. Shall I write here? I think can they see? Okay, they can see. So here is Jabagada dash. Jabagada. See, the sha is a different sha. Sha. First sha. So Jabagada dash. This all third column. Vertical third column forms into one sutra. I mention here the 10th sutra. See, this is the 10th sutra. Jabagada dash. Okay. Ika 11th sutra. How many sutras are there? Nyama Hayavarat lan Nyamangananam jabhai ghadadash. Ghadadash jabagadash. Kapha chatata chatatav. Kapha chatata chatatav. No, wait. Kapha chatata. Kapha chatata chatatav. Elli, you're already writing?
No, Swamiji.
You already decided what sutra? Next.
Khacha Thata.
ನೀವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ 11th ಸೂತ್ರ ಯಾವುದು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Because some people have a very peculiar habit of all moderners. Before you teach, you decide already. Such people I'll never teach in my life. So this is the 11th sutra. 11th sutra is Kha, Pha, Chatata, Chatata. Kapha, Chatata, Chatatav. See, Kha, Pha, Chatata, Chatatav. Va, ending letter is Va. Kapha, Chatata, Chatatav. This is the longest sutra. Okay. Among the 14, this is the only longest sutra. Kapha, Chatata, Chatatav. That means these letters go together. That means there are certain common changes, common rules applicable to these alphabets. Therefore, Panini clubbed them into one sutra. Not Panini, he got from Shiva. Shiva clubbed them like that. Then next is 12th sutra is Ka and Pa. Ka and Pa. So this remaining Ka and Pa is the 12th sutra. That is called Kapai. Kapaya. Kapai. Barko. 12th sutra is Kapai. ಈಗ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 13th sutra, Sha, Sha, Sa, because these three go together, they follow the common rules. So this is the 13th sutra. Sha, 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 Sar, Sha, Sha, Sa, Ra. Ra is only to indicate the end of it. It's just an alphabet indicates it. Sha, Sha, Sar, 13th sutra. 14th sutra is only single letter, Hal. Hal is the 14th sutra. 14th sutra is only Ha, La. Now, first 4 sutras, vowels alone. Then consonants begin. Remaining 10 sutras deal with consonants. So it starts with the 5th sutra, Hayavarat. Start with Ha. Last 14th sutra is La. Ha and La you join. Hal. Hal means consonants.
Oh, like that, okay.
Abbreviation. Hal is consonants. We have told hard consonant, soft consonants. Do you remember? Soft consonants are, these are nasals. Hard consonants means this first row, vertical, this second row, and then shashasa. That means these 2 rows are covered in 2 sutras. From the 11th, 12th sutra. Kapha, Chatata, Chatatav. This is the 11th sutra. Kapai, 12th sutra. Shashasar, 13th sutra. So these 3 sutras put together, one abbreviation is made. Starts with Ka, Shashasar, Ra. Ka and Ra. Kar. Kar means hard consonant.
Okay.
Means these 2 columns and this 1 column. So these 2 columns, these are hard consonants. So Kar, Panini used them Kar. I am not able to show. I think I have to show only on the board. You are messing up your notebook.
No, I will write it again.
No, because my board is too small. If a board is, see, these alphabets, if it was big enough, I would show all the alphabets in one place. Then the 14, there should be enough space for 14 lines. And this should be slightly wider. Then that in the board I could have shown all the things in one place. I think I have noted down in my notebook. I don't know whether can I show it? Will it catch it? Like this. See, I did. All these alphabets I put them like that. Then the 14 sutras below.
Okay.
I write like this. I think we can't. Can they see? Okay, like this. So first these things. So I put them. See, this is the first sutra. Even the I-1 also. A, I, Vu, like that. The vertical columns alone. Even the vowels can be joined here. Vowels can be put here, rearranged, and then take them in all vertical columns, one sutra. One A, I. See for here, A, I, Vu, I, Vunu, Rulu, second sutra, I, Vunu, Ruluk, E, Vong, I, Ouch, like that. So I think I like this, I wrote it here. I won, one column. Then I won ro look, second. A och, I ouch. Then hayavarat, lan, nyamagananam, jabhai, ghadadash. See, ja and ba slightly written slightly differently, little away. Then it will, because the word is too small. But anyway, whatever, you got the basic idea of it. So hard consonant. For soft consonants, also sometimes some letters group into one, some letters slightly regroup again, a second group. Therefore, they put them jash, jhash, they call jash and jash, all these things, alphabets. Anyway, we'll use them later. When they occur, you will remember them. So, for kar is a hard consonant. Remaining is soft consonants. But general, all consonants put together, ha to la, hal. Then all alphabets, when you want to mention, a, I, un, first sutra. Last sutra is hal. A to la, al. Al means all alphabets. Like this Panini, he found these 14 sutras. And in the 14 sutras, these alphabets are rearranged by Lord Shiva himself. And with the help of these 14 sutras, he developed these abbreviations, pratyahara. These abbreviations are used in the sutra for shortcut. Now, in Panini Sutra, now you have noted down all these things. Now we have to go to the Savarna Dirgha Sandhi. Okay. Savarna Dirgha, now come to the Ak. Ak means, what are all the alphabets? If you have to memorize those sutras. Okay. Anyway, I'll just say once, you repeat them. I un, roluk, a ong, I ouch, hayavarat, lan, nyamangananam, jabhai, ghadadash, jabagadash, alpha prana. Third line, jabagadash, khapha chatata, chatatav, kapai, alpha prana, kapai, yala, kapai, ya, nasalized yala. That's why I told board illa, you say I can write better. Before you learn, you start writing. This is all modern English medium educated idiots. Before you learn, they start imagining. That's why all this research is only spoiling the whole world. I say, yeah, you are pronouncing as nasalized. Kapai ಎಂದು ಏಕೆ ಹೇಳುವುದು? ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಾ? ಕಪೈ. That's all. Then shashasar. Hal. Okay, this is alphabet. So ak means what are they? I un. No, you just say repeat it. Repeat I un. Roluk. A to ka. So how many letters come in this thing? 5. So ak. When ak followed by ak, dirgha, Panini shortcut rule, you see, akas savarne dirgha. When ak followed by similar ak. Ak means what? Ak means 5 letters. Ak is a symbol for 5 letters. Ak. When ak followed by similar ak. Similar means, now ak, what are they? A. Then E. Then U. Then Ru. Then Lu. Okay. A followed by A. Short or long? E followed by E. U followed by U. Ru followed by Ru. Lu followed by Ru. What happens? It is replaced by, these two are replaced by one long A. This is by one long E. This is by one long U. This is by one Ru, long Ru. Even Lu, there is no Lu, long. So this is Savarna Dirgha. Savarna Dirgha means Rama plus Ayanam, Ramayanam, we say. Anything, any A come together, it becomes a long one. What are the other examples? Deva plus alaya. Deva ending in a. Alaya it's becoming. A joined together becomes only one lang. Devalaya. Isn't it? Giri plus Isha. Giri is E. Isha. Girisha. Kavisha. Like that. U plus U. Guru plus Upadesha. Guru plus Upadesha. Guru Upadesha. Like that. U plus U becomes one long U. Guru Upadesha. Like that. So this is a Savarna. Savarna Dirgha. We call it Dirgha Sandhi. Some people call it shortcut Dirgha Sandhi. So Dirgha Sandhi ki context is Ak should be followed by Ak. It is easy to remember. What is Ak? Ayevu Rulu. 5 letters. Okay. Now here. Bala we are learning. Bala plus, shall I, we have discussed already. Bala plus Sa, Balas. Sa becomes a Visarga, Balaha. Bala plus Au, Balau. That is A plus Au, Vriddhi Sandhi, that I have to tell you. So first plural I am telling you. Bala plus As. What happens? Savarna Dirgha. A plus followed by A. Balas. Then Sa changes to
Visarga. Bala.
Bala. This is the. Okay. ಏನು ರೋಲಪ್ಪ ವೃದ್ಧಿ ರೇಚಿ Then is Vriddhi Sandhi. Have you heard of Vriddhi Sandhi? Here you take it. A or A, either short or long, followed by A, O, no, A, I, let us say, Y instead of O. Let us put A and I, O plus Au. Same. A followed by A, I, O, Au. This changes to I. In these two changes, is changes to I. These two in cases change to Au. For example, in our India common language, this is Eka, one. Eka. Eka plus Eka. You join, what happens?
Eka.
Your English medium is very strong in you. So though you say that you studied Kannada, your Kannada is not Kannada. I won't accept. You are only English medium. I should treat you like English medium only. So Eka plus Eka, Ka is ending in A. Next A is coming, isn't it? So this A joining with A becomes I. So this ending letter Ka, I, there is a A over the Ka. Ending is A, not Ka. A is here and this is A is here. These two join, both will become I. So Ekaika. Ekeka agalla. Ekeka aitu ante that is definitely English medium. So Ekeka agalla. Ekaika. Eka plus Eka. Ekaika. Then I'm not able to remember. I think I have to see my. Oh my God. Ayyo. Some more have gone inside. It is here. I think some examples must have given here. Let me see. If he has given the examples, we will cover. Tengunaha Vruddhiralayich Vadami Nashyati Vadilaha Kripa. Eka plus Eka, Ekaika we have told. Brahma plus Aikyam, I, Brahma, ending letter A, Aikyam, Brahma plus Aikyam, Brahmaikyam. So A plus I becomes again same I. Some people, Shiva Bhaktas, here in Karnataka I see, because there are more Veerashaivas. ಅವರು ಪ್ರಾಣ ಬಿಟ್ಟರು ಅಂದರೆ ತೀರ್ಕೊಂಡರು ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? ಶಿವೈಕ್ಯವಾದರು. ಶಿವ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಐಕ್ಯ, ಶಿವೈಕ್ಯ. ಆ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಐ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಐ. ಆ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಎ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಐ. ಆ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಎ ಐ. That's why instead of remembering these alphabets, remember the very examples. Ekaika, one example. Shivaikyam or Brahmaikyam, whichever you like it. Brahmaikyam or Shivaikyam, you remember. These first two. Instead of remembering these rules, remember one example for each. Because those words are familiar in Indian languages. So Ekaika, Eka plus Eka, Ekaika. You split them. Eka, A. Next following is A. A plus A changing into I. Ekaika. So from the example you derive the rule. Generally our people, even the Panini's grammar, I studied that way. First they tell the abstract rule. Try to explain, try to ask you to memorize it. Then they come to the example at the end. After explaining the principle, they come to the examples. I feel that's not the way. This is called an imposing knowledge upon a person. You give the examples. Ask him to watch what changes have taken place. He will you will be discovering a principle in the examples. See, Eka plus Eka I have given. In these things, what is happening? Ekaika. Watch what changes have taken place. So you will be deriving a principle from the example. Ekaika. What is that? Eka and Eka is split. Oh, this is the joining taken place. When they join, this is the letters, the joining letters here have this change they have undergone. You are discovering the change from the example, because examples are in the language, living language. From the living language, you watch what change takes place, you will be discovering it. This discovery is easy and interesting. Instead of that, A plus A changes to I. Memorize it. A becomes I. A plus AI. These are abstract. A, Elli, where, how, all we can't understand. Just now first you understand. A followed by A changes to I. A followed by A followed by I changes to I. Okay. Abstract alphabets alone you have to remember. Then after whole principle is understood, then I come to the examples. How difficult it is, how abstract and boring it. You give the example from that thing. So that's why I told, this is Eka plus Eka, Ekaika we have given you. Second example, Shiva plus Aikyam. You note down these examples and just memorize this alone. Ekaika. Then Shiva plus Aikyam. what happens? Shivaikyam. One more example. Divya plus Aushadham. Divyaushadham. Because here A change followed by O changes to Au. A followed by Au, whether O or Au changes to Au. But this O, I am not able to recall an example. Brahma plus Odanam, Brahmaudanam. Now Odanam ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಏನು ಓದನಂ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಶುದ್ಧೋದಕಂ. No, ಶುದ್ಧ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಉದಕಂ ಅದು. That is different. Odanam. Brahmaudanam is there one example. I have not given you. Pen I have not brought. Oh my God. No, I'll take from here. Oh. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಓದನಂ. ಓದನಂ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ. ಅನ್ನಕ್ಕೆ ಓದನಂ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Odanam is Anna. Okay. So, fourth example is Divya plus Aushadham, Divyaushadham. In the second two, followed by O and Au, it is changing to Au. In the first two, A followed by A or I, changing to I. The same thing now I wipe out, so that will come to our example. Okay. This is called Vriddhi Sandhi. Note down this is called Vriddhi. Why Vriddhi? Because A, I, O, Au are called Vriddhis. See, I, Au are Vriddhis. I and Au are Vriddhis. Therefore, this is called Vriddhi Adesha Sandhi. In this thing, now the Dvivachana Shabda, Bala plus Au Ekavachana. What did we say? Ekavachana. Bala plus Sa, Balas. Sa changes to Visarga. Sa changes to Visarga. Balaha. It becomes easy. Bala plus Au, what happens? According to Vriddhi Sandhi, this A and Au becomes Balau. Rama Lakshmanau. Have you ever heard?
Rama Lakshmana.
Ramaha plus Lakshmana. When you combine them together, Rama Lakshmanau. ರಾಮ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣರು. ರಾಮ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅವರಿಬ್ಬರು ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ರಾಮ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣವು. ಇಬ್ಬರನ್ನು ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಬಾಲವು, ಇಬ್ಬರು ಬಾಲರು. ಬಾಲ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ? ಬಾಲಕರು, ಹುಡುಗರು. ಬಾಲರು ಇಲ್ಲವಾ? ಬಾಲ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಾಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಬಾಲಕ ನೀವು ಸೇರಿಸ್ಕೊ. ನಾನಿದು ಬಾಲ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ನೀವು ಬಾಲಕ ಬರ್ಕೊ. ತೆಲುಗಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಲ ಇದೆ, ಬಾಲಕ ಇದೆ, ಎರಡೂ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಮೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಾಲಕ. ಬಾಲಕ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಓ ಔ, ಬಾಲಕೌ. ಇದು ಲಾ ತೆಗೆದು ಬಿಡು, ಬಾಲಕ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಾಲಕ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಸ, ಬಾಲಕಸ್. ಬಾಲಕಃ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಕ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಈಗ ಬಹುವಚನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದರೆ ಬಾಲಕ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅಸ್, ಅದು ಸವರ್ಣ ದೀರ್ಘ. ಏಕೆ? ಆ ಬಿಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಬಾಲಕಾಸ್. ಅಸ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಟು ವಿಸರ್ಗ, ಬಾಲಕಾ. ನಾವು ಗೊತ್ತಾಯಿತು. ಬಾಲಕಃ ಹೇಳು. ಬಾಲಕೌ, ಬಾಲಕಾಹ. ಬಾಲಕಃ ಸಿಂಗಲ್, ಬಾಲಕೌ ಇಬ್ಬರು, ಬಾಲಕಾಹ ಅನೇಕರು, ಪ್ರಥಮ ವಿಭಕ್ತಿ. ದೆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಾಲಕ ಶಬ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನೃಪ ಶಬ್ದವು ಸೇರಿಸಬಹುದು. ನೃಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು? ಕಿಂಗ್. ನೃಪಃ. ನೃಪಃ, ನೃಪೌ, ನೃಪಾಹ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್, ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ನೃಪಃ ನೃಪೌ ನೃಪಾಃ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿತ್ತಪ್ಪ. ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಹೇಳಿ ನಂತರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ನೃಪಃ ನೃಪೌ ನೃಪಾಃ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇನ್ ಸಫಿಕ್ಸಸ್ ಯಾವುವು? ಸ, ಔ, ಅಸ್. In fact, this much is not required. Directly forms balaka, balaka, balaka. That is enough for children. For those who want to learn little grammar, because he is preparing you for Panini grammar. Therefore, sa, au, as, if you remember them. Those who are not interested can skip this thing. Directly you take them balaka, balaka, balaka. Enough. All these things you don't require. Those who don't want to go into grammar, directly learn this language. Because in language you use them. This sa, sa, all this is grammar only, not used in language. It is for learning grammar, not in the language. Sanskrit language, this nobody uses them. So it's only for learning grammar. So balakaha balakau balakaha, nrupaha nrupau nrupaha, ramaha ramau ramaha. Ashte. That much is enough. That much is directly for learning a language. Okay. Then Napunsakalinga. For Napunsakalinga, first suffixes he said. Let us take for example phala. Phala is one. Phala is a fruit. ಅಲ್ಲವೇ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಟೈಮ್ ಆಯಿತಾ? ಹೋಯಿತು. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೊತ್ತು ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಒಂದು 5 ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಫಲ. ದೆನ್ or what did he say? First one. E ani. E ani. ಅಲ್ಲವೇ? ಫಲಂ. E ani. These three are the suffixes. Ekavachana, dvivachana, bahuvachana in neuter. Phala is akaranta, but napunsakalinga. So balaka is balaka, nrupa, rama, akaranta punlinga. Ante a word ending in a but masculine. Akaranta means word ending in a but in masculine. Here word ending in a but neuter. Idu ante akaranta napunsakalinga is phala, akaranta punlinga is rama, rama, nrupa, balaka, etc. So for that akaranta punlinga, these pratyayas added were sa, au, as. Sa, au, as. Sa, au, as. Idu e ani. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಫಲ ಏಕವಚನ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತದೆ? ಫಲಂ. ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಈಸಿ. ಫಲ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಫಲಂ. ಫಲಂ. ಫಲ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇ ಗುಣಸಂಧಿ ಬರುತ್ತದೆ. ಗುಣಸಂಧಿ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗುಣ ಆದೇಶ ವಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿಡ್ ಇಟ್, ಬಟ್ ದ ಸಂಧಿ ಈಸ್ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. ಆ ಫಾಲೋಡ್ ಬೈ ವಾಟ್? Ich. Ich means what is that? Aivun. Say repeat.
Aivun.
Ruluk. Eoch. Eong. Iouch. So ade engunaha. Eng. So illi only e uru. E u ru lu. Only these 4 letters. A followed by E changes to A. Venkata plus Ishvara. What happens?
Venkateshwara.
Isn't it? Anything. Rameshwaram. Rama plus E. See, A plus E will change to A. E yaru helabararu. Nanu yaru nodidini Rama. Somebody was telling, Venkata Ishvara, Venkateshwara irabeko. Venkateshwara ಏನು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ತಪ್ಪು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. I was a 2 college boy and he was an aged person. He was talking like that. Then I understood in Telugu we studied Sandhi. Does he not study that? Venkateshwara ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. Why do you call it? Ishvara is E. E means Ishvara. Eshwara ಏಕೆ? See, you see the tongue. A plus E when you add, tongue naturally A ಆಗಿಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. There are some more phonetic rules are required. I have not taught you phonetics. Phonetics, I think we study in the Panini. Some phonetics, because the pronunciation, the letters, the places, phonetics becomes much more complicated. That I'll tell you in Lagu Kamudi Vyakarana. According to phonetic rule, A plus E and A. In computer, that's why the people told computer is Sanskrit. Sanskrit is computer friendly. That's because when you type A and type E, automatically the letter becomes A. I found once A typed it, then E typed it. Immediately it automatically became A without my doing. I thought I have to write A. I already took it A. Oh, I asked somebody, what is this? When I typed and automatically taking A, already they fed it. No, Swamiji, they have not fed it. That the phonetic rules is such, A, E when combine it automatically becomes A. That's why some foreigners were telling Sanskrit is computer friendly. That's because of this. Because this changes, if you see the tongue, how the tongue naturally changes. In human tongue, naturally it changes to that another letter. Therefore, A plus O naturally changes to O. Ganga plus Udakam. Gangudakam we don't say. Gangodakam. Ganga plus Udakam, Gangodakam. A plus U, O. Maha plus Rashihi. Mahar. A plus Ru, Ar aguttade. So Ar is the guna. Here you can write 3. What is this? Rameshwara. One example. Gangodaka, second example. And then Maharshi, Brahmarshi, Yavade Rishi, any Rishi. Brahmarshi, Devarshi, Maharshi. Maha plus Rishihi, Maharshi. So these 3 examples are of Guna Sandhi. Now here you take Phala plus E. What happens? A plus E, A, Phale. Now first we have derived Phalam. Second we derive as Phale. Okay. Now the Phala plus Ani. It is Savarna Dirgha. A plus A becomes Phalani. So I'll just write here. This much rules we don't need if you don't want grammar. For the children we tell Phalam Phale. Phala has 3 forms in the Prathama Vibhakti. Phalam Phale Phalani. Directly write them and ask them to memorize. 2-3 times he repeats it, comes it. Now this rule, A, E, O, all these things, only little grammar. Those who don't want, you can skip them and just remember these things and leave them. It becomes easy. Therefore, don't be frightened about we have to learn so much of grammar. You don't need to learn so much of grammar. Where it is necessary, I tell you, anybody has to learn. Even a beginner has to learn, child also has to learn some grammar in the sentence. When sandhi comes, there we must learn it. Therefore, the sandhis occurring in the sentence were taught even to us in Kannada, Telugu also, in childhood for the children. But these rules, the derivative rules, these are derivative rules for advanced grammar, not for beginners, not for using the language. So, Phala, Prathama Vibhakti, this is Akaranta Napunsakalinga. First Vibhakti forms are Phalam, 1 fruit, Phale, 2 fruits, Phalani, 3 or more than 3 fruits. Okay, now you got one is about masculine, another is about neuter. Okay, now let us see some vocabulary, then you will be able to do the translation. What is that? Anala. Anala is fire. Anala is fire. Anala, Davanala. Badavanala. Davanala, where is the another Anala? Davanala is familiar in Kannada? No. Davanala illa. It is there. I think you have not studied Kannada books. Davanala is a common word. Davanala is what is that? Davanala is forest fire. Davagni. Davagni is Davanala. You have not studied that Kannada well. That's why this thing. Davanala is. Another thing is Anala. Too much of Kannada idu. That's Achagannada pada. Kadugichu. ನಾವು ಕಾಡುಗಿಚ್ಚು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ. No, ಕಾಡುಗಿಚ್ಚು spoken, but in books they write Davanalam. Davanala is commonly written in what you call Davagni or Davanala. Davagni or Davanala is used in written books. In bookish language, Davagni, Davanala is used. So Anala is fire. Anala, where else is there example? I think I have to see my notes whether there are any familiar terms in Indian languages. Anala. Kopanala ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Kopagni is Kopanala. Kopagni is same. Okay. ಇಲ್ಲ. Okay. Next pada is Ashva. Okay. Now analyze the masculine gender. Masculine means like Balakaha. Now if it is like Balaka, now what will be the Prathama Vibhakti forms? Say that. Anala meaning is fire. Now the Vibhakti form you say Analaha, Analau, Analaha. So you don't go into the rules now. Once we have seen the rules, now you just directly form the ready-made forms. Like Nrupaha, Nrupau, Nrupaha. Say once. Similarly, Analaha, Analau, Analaha. Anala one fire, Analau two fires, Analaha many fires. Next, Ashvaha. Ashva is Kudre, horse. So this is also same. It is a masculine. Ashvaha, Ashvau, Ashvaha. Ashvaha one horse, Ashvau two horses, Ashvaha many horses. Then Ishvaraha. Ishvaraha, Ishvarau, Ishvaraha. Many Ishvaras. Actually you don't have, but the word has, that's why I told word has got a linga, word has got vachana. Actually such things may not exist, but the word has got it. So Ishvara is singular, Ishvarau two, Ishvaraha many. Next word. Then Kurmaha. Kurma is a tortoise, Ame. Kurmaha, Kurmau, Kurma. Next, Jana. Jana means one person, Jana means plural. It can be Janaha, Janau, Janaha. Next, Jivaha. Jivaha means life, Jiva means a Jiva, a Prani. Jiva means a Prani. Prani means any living being. Not in Kannada, Prani means animal. We say Prani means a living being. A living being. Jiva means a living being. It need not be animal, it could be anything. Jiva means a living being. So Jivaha, Jivau, Jivaha. Living beings andartha. Either animals or living beings. Okay. Naraha. Nara is a man. Naraha, Narau, Naraha. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನರನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನ,
ನರರು
ಬಹುವಚನ ನರರು, ಏಕವಚನ
ನರ,
ನರ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನರ ನರನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ನೃಪಃ, ನೃಪರು, ನೃಪಃ, ನೃಪವು, ನೃಪಾಹ ಅದು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ. ಪವನಃ. ಪವನ ಅಂದರೆ ವಿಂಡ್. ಪವನ ಅಂದರೆ ಪವನ ಪುತ್ರ. ಪವನ ಇಸ್ ವಿಂಡ್, ಪವನ ಪುತ್ರ ಹನುಮಾನ್. ಸೊ ಪುತ್ರ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಪುತ್ರ, ಪುತ್ರವು, ಪುತ್ರ. ಬಾಲಃ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಬಾಲಃ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಕಾ. ಕಾ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸೇಮ್, ಕಾ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸೇಮ್, ವಿತೌಟ್ ಕಾ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸೇಮ್. ಬಾಲಃ, ಬಾಲವು, ಬಾಲಾಹ. ಬಾಲಕಃ, ಬಾಲಕವು, ಬಾಲಕ, ಬೋತ್ ಆರ್ ಸೇಮ್. ದೆನ್ ಬುಧಃ, ಬುಧೌ, ಬುಧಾಹ. ಬುಧ ಈಸ್ ಎ ವೈಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್, an intelligent man. Buddha, a wise man. Buddha, Buddhau, Buddhaha. Okay. Then Murkha.
Buddha, Bodha.
Bodha, now verb it is. It is a Buddha is a noun.
Here it is noun.
Noun. That is a Buddha. Bodhati is a verb. Bodha is not used. Bodhati is used. Bodha is not used in the language.
Okay.
Bodha is not used in. Bodha is a noun. When you make it a noun, you use it.
Okay.
Without making a noun, you can't directly, verbal root can't be used.
Okay.
Root can't you use in the sentence in a language.
Okay. Buddha, Buddhau, Buddha.
Buddha, visarga irbeku. Buddha, Buddhau, Buddha. Okay. Murkha, Murkhau, Murkha. Murkha is a fool. Okay. Murkha is not, Murkha is a fool. What is fool? All that we define later. Okay. Megha. Megha is moda. Meghau, Megha. Okay then. Ramaha, Ramau, Ramaha. Person. Name of a person. Then Vrikshaha. Tree. Vrikshaha, Vrikshau, Vrikshaha. Then Samudraha. Samudrau, Samudraha. Then Sudaha. Suda is a new word for you. Cook. Suda is cook. Pachati has already come. Sudaha, Pachati. A cook cooks.
Okay.
Sudaha. Sudaha is a cook. Sudaha, Sudau, Sudaha. Now we call him Sudaha. Here our people. Our Sudaha.
Sudaha, Sudau, Sudaha.
Hastaha. Hasta is hand. Hastau, Hastaha. Now these are all masculine. Masculine, this much of vocabulary you learned. Now next, I think time ಹೆಚ್ಚೆ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. Some more ಇದೆ. I think you need another 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Okay. Kamalam. These are all Napunsakalinga. Kamalam, Kamale, Kamalani, Phalam, Phale, Phalani. Kamalam is one. You have to see when you learn the word, learn the meaning and repeat this one line so that you will remember it is a neuter. In Sanskrit, the word has got a gender. Therefore, if you learn the only word and meaning, if you don't know the gender, you can't use it in a sentence. You have to immediately remember the gender also. Without gender, you can't make this form. You make use this form, you can't use it in a sentence. Therefore, as you learn the word, immediately learn the Gender also. Meaning and gender. Meaning and gender instantly you have to learn. Then only you can change a form, make a form and use it. That's the difficulty about Sanskrit. People say difficult. Yes, in this sense I say it's a difficulty. But this also you have to get used to it. Once you get used to it, it becomes easy. So all these things earlier masculine, all these things you have to make one line. Megah, mego, megah. When you remember that line, whole line, oh, this is masculine. That's why we are megah, we put visarga. Oh, that means it is masculine. So mind registers as a masculine that way. As you learn a new word, immediately this repeat one line, first line. Megah, mego, megah. This is masculine. It becomes easy. Kamalam, kamalam, kamale, kamalani. The next. Kamalam is lotus. Gruham, gruhe, gruhani. This you note it. Gruhani. It is this rule I'll tell you tomorrow. Instead of na, we caught ni. Gruhani. Gruhani. Okay. There is a rule. That's why in the beginning there are too many grammar rules. Gruhani. Jalam. Jalam is Napumsakalinga. Jalam, jale, jalani. Jalani, waters. Many waters brought from many areas, many rivers. Called jalani. But ultimately, commonly it means the same. Okay. You don't say Niru as Bahuvachana in Kannada. In Telugu we have got Bahuvachana. Water is Bahuvachana. Neellu.
Oh, okay.
Niru also word is there. Commonly use it, but we generally use Niru is always Bahuvachana. The border areas like Ballari area, Niru bandide heltara, bandive heltara.
Niru bandide.
Bandide, alli Niru bandive heltare.
Oh, okay.
Because that is the Telugu influence. That Ballari area, that's the Telugu influence.
Okay.
Once I was using one word, Niru bandide andre, the person from Ballari area. He knows, is fluent with both the languages, Kannada and Telugu. He say, no, Hagalla Swamiji, Telugu nalli he was telling, Atla kaadu Swamiji, Niru bandive helabeku. Oh, Haga, yes, Telugu nalli bandive. Then after I come here, no, Niru is used singular here. That is Telugu influence.
Okay.
We call Niru bandive. Okay, so Dukkham, Dukkhe, Dukkhani. That is, see, Dukkha is a feeling. How can there be gender for it? How can there be number for it? There is a number, vachana. Dukkham, Dukkhe, Dukkhani. So in Sanskrit, word has got a vachana, word has got a linga. Linga, vachana, word kide. Whatever may be meaning. Meaning may be a feeling, idea, vastu, object, anything. Even ideas have got genders and everything. Every word itself has got it. That's a difficulty. But once you note it and you looking from that angle, it becomes easy. See, mind has to develop that angle of looking. Because in Indian languages it is not, in other languages it is not there. You don't pay attention to that. If this angle grows in your mind, you keep on watching that way, then it becomes fast. Any word you learn immediately. That's why it becomes easy for us. Easy for us. You have to pay attention to that aspect. Once you learn the word, immediately learn that gender. Then what gender? Then you know how to make it. Dukkham, Dukkhe, Dukkhani. Then Dhanam, Dhane, Dhanani. Dhanam also is neuter and plural. Netram, Netre, Netrani. This you have to say na. Netrani. Netram is single. Netre two. Netrani many. Then Parnam, Parne, Paranani. Parna is leaf. Patram, Patre, Patrani. Like Patra, but Parna is a leaf. Then Phalam, Phale, Phalani we have studied. Then Mitram, Mitre, Mitrani. Here na should come. Mitrani. You can mark some marking and then that mark indicates that na should come. Okay, you put some dot or some such thing. Either dot or line or something. So that wherever you put the mark that changes to na. Otherwise it is a na. Simple na. Then okay, Mukham, Mukhe, Mukhani. Mukha is face, Mukha is mouth. Mukha is mouths. Then Sukham, Sukhe, Sukha also has got a gender, you see. Sanskrit is a very peculiar language. Sukha has got a gender and also number, vachana. Then Hrudayam, Hrudaye, Hrudayani. Hrudayani Vyadarayat, Bhagavad Gita says. Hrudayani Bahuvachana. Hrudayam Ekavachana. Okay. Now the masculine and neutral genders we have seen some words. Sentences we have to start. But before we start, there are two sandhis I have to teach you. This will take a long time, I think tomorrow. If I taught it, you could have started translation. You may do, but you will be stuck with sandhi rules. Some visarga sandhi rules, two sandhi rules I have to teach you. If I teach two sandhi rules, you can proceed with translation.
So I will revise whatever.
Okay then. Then tomorrow. tomorrow I'll tell you. These two, today's portion we will revise, and also, and then two Sandhi rules, Visarga Sandhi rules I have to teach. Two Visarga Sandhi rules if you learn, then we can start the translation. Now here, we use the nouns as well as the verb, sentences together. A king goes, Nrupaha gacchati, a king goes, like that. All that. Now the sentences start. It looks interesting now. Language becomes interesting now. One noun and one verb. Now you can see them. Ashvaha gacchati, a horse goes, like that. Naraha vadati, a man speaks, like that. Meghaha sinchati, cloud sprinkles, like that. Meghaha sinchati we learnt, megha we have learnt. Nouns in this chapter, verbs in the previous chapters. Now you can make a sentence. Noun and verb, when you start making sentence, now you can see the language you have started using it.
Meghaha sinchanti.
Bahuvachana, like that, like that. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om Tat Sat. We have taken very long time today. Are the same? More than 1 hour today.
More than 1 hour.